11 points now separate Inter and Atalanta at the top of the table. Milan, of course, still to play on Monday. Well, let's welcome in, shall we, Gabriele Marcotti and Alessandro Del Piero to reflect on what happened in Italy. Ali, let's start with your former side. Juventus again far from convincing.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. From my hard side, I mean, it's been a while now that they're struggling a little bit, and we're facing a strong team. They got punished tonight. You know, they were able to come back in the second half after the first one that was honestly quite horrifying. But the second half with amazing goal by Morata, they stay up. But the run for the fourth place is still on, and they need to be careful.
Did Pirlo get his tactics wrong, Ali, going into this, not starting a striker, not starting Morata with Dybala playing instead?
No, I mean, Dybala came back from a great comeback. He scored even a goal last Sunday. So, you know, it was good to put him inside and having Morata as a backup player, let's say like this. But, I mean, it's not anymore who you put on the field, because Pirlo, who better than him, see the players during the week to see who is in more shape or more convince him more than the other ones. It's the way that the approach of the game that is missing so many times from different formations. So that is a big things to change. That is not easy at this point of the season to do it.
Gab, is it simple enough to say if Juventus qualify for the Champions League, Pirlo stays? If they don't, he's gone?
Well, that's kind of what Fabio Paratici's, Juve's director of football, sort of indirectly implied. He said, we're not contemplating finishing outside the top four. It simply won't happen. And to which then they asked him, well, does that mean then that Pirlo's going to stay if you finish top four? And he says, of course, Pirlo's going to stay because we're going to finish top four. Look, I wouldn't put any stock on it. I refuse to believe that any football club would go and make a decision like this just based on, well, if we're fourth, then he stays, and if we're fifth, then he's definitely gone. I mean, any serious organization would sit down, evaluate Pirlo's work at the end of the season. It's possible that he could finish top four, top three, top two even, and not be considered the right man, and then conclude that he hasn't done enough to convince him. It's also possible that he could finish fifth, sixth, or seventh and say, you know what, we're on the right track. Let's go with him. I mean, if I refuse to believe Juve would simply go by results and tick the box, because, you know, if that was the case, then Sarri would have stayed. Allegri would still be here. Conte maybe even. I mean, I don't think so. I wouldn't. I think these are just things that football people say. I don't think Fabio Paratici has any idea. He may have an idea what he might want to do, but I really wouldn't expect him to go and make some sort of definitive decision now. Sure, they would love to keep Pirlo, and they would love Pirlo to lead them where they want to go.
Well, of course, the romance of the story is perfect, but Gab, are we in any sort of situation where it's to go, right, look, we've got to qualify for the Champions League, we need it financially, we need it to draw new players in. Is there any scenario in which they go, right, we'll get rid of Pirlo now, say bring back Max Allegri just to get us over the line?
I don't think so. I think it would be expensive. It would be difficult. I think the downside, if then you get it wrong, is going to be absolutely brutal, because Allegri is going to be expensive, and you're bringing him for a few games, and then in the summer, Allegri is going to be like, well, hang on a minute. When I was here, I had this guy and that guy and that guy. What do I have now? So they said very clearly what their direction of travel is. And like I said, if it's not Pirlo, it's going to be somebody who's going to have similar concepts, but hopefully execute them better. Bringing back Allegri would mean not just investing more money into the squad, money which they wouldn't have if they finish outside the top four, or even likely they're going to be a difficult spot even if they do finish top four. And it would mean abandoning their plan, kind of ripping up the blueprint once again. And I just don't think that would be good for the club. Then again, football clubs make bad decisions all the time.
Ali, what do you think?
Nothing better than what Gabriele said, because the problem at this point is if they don't finish fourth, it's not Pirlo. It's who you can bring for the next year. They still have players to be paid, and are Ronaldo gonna stay without the Champions League? And Dybala? That is the biggest question, and then the big question about economic side, that Juve is struggling a lot about economics. So not getting into the Champions League, it means a lot of effort from the ownership to recover that debts. So Pirlo, from my point of view, is the last problem that they have.
Ali, just put into perspective how much of a disaster this would be if Juventus didn't qualify for the Champions League.
Well, emotionally, it's a disaster. After 9 years, winning the title and looking for the 10th, it will be a disaster emotionally already. But the fact that knowing going to the Champions League, of course, as a sponsorship side, as a project with Pirlo and with some of the players, need to be adjusted quickly. So first question is, what's gonna be with Ronaldo? What's gonna happen?
Right.
Are he gonna stay? Can he stay? Does he want to stay without the Champions League? I mean, he's a big guy in Champions League. He won quite a lot, so he's looking for more records. So probably at the end of the summer, at the beginning of the summer, he say, you know what? Sorry, guys, we're not in the Champions League. I want to discuss me leaving for another club that play in the Champions League.
Gab?
Well, it's interesting because, look, in the end, Ronaldo will have 1 year left on his contract. It's going to be up to him. I think nobody would begrudge him if he said, look, I'm setting all these Champions League records. As Ale says, the clock is ticking for me. I'm going to go somewhere else. I think in those circumstances, the club, they're not going to keep him against his will. They would let him go. They would save a tremendous amount of money in wages, and that would sort out the wage bill in the immediate. But then remember this, if Ronaldo leaves, Dybala's contract, I think he's going to have a year left at that stage. Morata's only on loan, so you need to find some money to keep him, assuming you want to keep him. You don't have any other strikers. You don't have too many players that you can sell and actually get money back for, and that you want to sell. Obviously, De Ligt is worth something, but you don't want to sell De Ligt, so maybe Demiral. I genuinely don't know who else. Chiesa, they don't even know yet. They don't even own him outright. So it's a very tricky situation. There's positions they absolutely have to strengthen, especially in central midfield. So it's a very, very difficult situation that they're in. But as Ale says, if Pirlo, I think if they don't qualify their top four, Pirlo is the least of their problems. To me, those two issues are entirely separate.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.